Every once in a while, one comes across equipment that's just so memorable it will forever live in the annals of your listening experiences. For me, the SoundLab G5-4C was just one of those products. A couple of months back, Tom Martin reviewed the SoundLab G7-7C, the G5-4C's big brother, although still not the largest speaker SoundLab makes. In that video, Tom did such a fabulous job getting into the technical minutia of SoundLab speakers that there's likely nothing beneficial I could add to that. I would recommend going back to that video to get a clearer overview of SoundLab's design principles and processes. Here, I would like to provide viewers with a detailed description of how the smaller G5-4C sounded in my room. So stick around while I share what I heard when auditioning the SoundLab G5-4C.
I gotta do what I do. I'm really here on my ones now instead of 4 3s or 2s. And I was F you from Paris. I could have been F'ing you in Paris.
Okay, as I mentioned, I'm not going to get into all the details of the construction of the speaker here, as Tom did a fantastic job of that in his video, which precedes this one. For some basic specs, the SoundLab G5-4C is a full-range electrostatic loudspeaker that stands a little under 5 feet tall, is about 2 feet wide, and while the panel itself is only about 4 inches deep, the base, which houses the transformer for charging the electrostatic membrane, extends about a foot behind the panel and is about 8 inches high. SoundLab offers a plethora of finish options, including 9 different wood frame options for the Majestic series. Wood options include walnut, maple, oak, and cherry, with the oak and cherry options allowing for several different shades of stain as standard, or if you prefer the full custom route, they're also available as painted with any Pantone color of your choosing. The Ultimate series comes with a steel frame, available in 7 standard color options, or again, any Pantone color that suits your needs. And when it comes to grill cloth, decision fatigue may set in, as SoundLab offers 72 options here. The new SoundLab G5-4Cs, which incorporate SoundLab's FRAB technology, eliminating the need for a separate power supply, retail for $29,500 US. However, a price increase is expected beginning in early 2026. The pair that I reviewed had yet to incorporate SoundLab's innovative FRAB technology, which energizes the diaphragm using the voltage present in the sound signal itself. So as you'll see in the video footage, they required external power supplied directly from a wall outlet, as per traditional electrostatic speaker designs. Alright, I want to take a moment to set the stage for the equipment I used when reviewing these speakers, as electrostats present a slightly more complex load to your equipment. Therefore, a little more thought has to be put into what one uses to drive them. Prior to the arrival of the G5-4Cs, I had an opportunity with my reference gear to become well acquainted with a pair of AGD solo monoblock amplifiers that were in my room for an upcoming review. These amplifiers, with their rating of 600 watts into 4 ohms, had no trouble powering the SoundLab's nominal 8 ohm impedance. Streams were sourced from my DCS Lena DAC and master clock, with Ethernet switched through an English Electric 8 switch, and power conditioned using an AudioQuest PowerQuest 303. Now for the most memorable part, the sound. It was awe-inspiring to witness how effortlessly the music simply manifested in the room. As I mentioned in my review of them, the AGD solos possess the ability to project a vast soundstage, a quality the SoundLabs took and ran with. I remember being awestruck at the G5's ability to play well beyond the confines of my listening room. I frequently found myself listening with eyes closed, something I seldom do, because of the visual-aural disconnect in the size of the space presented. My eyes simply were not allowing my brain to believe what my ears were hearing. My waxing on about sound stage and space being so vast may make some wonder if it made performers sound artificially large, and this certainly wasn't the case. Most everything presented on the G5 sounded remarkably believable, dare I say real, regarding soundstage and space. Individual performers sounded like distinct individuals, performing as a cohesive whole with their bandmates. And solo vocalists simply materialized on the stage in front of me. Another noteworthy quality was that the sweet spot for achieving this image seemed more than sufficient. Head movements side to side and position changes on the couch in my listening room had little to no effect on the speaker's efficacy to produce such a lifelike aural image. Regarding the G5's tonal presentation of the music, due to their width, the bottom end didn't begin its roll-off until 40 Hz, meaning most tracks were presented with their bottom end foundation intact, supporting the upper octaves with strong, articulate bass. While the bottom end was indeed strong, I did feel it subtly lacked the impact of the omnidirectional cones that I'm used to. Nonetheless, bass performance was impressive and extraordinarily coherent due to the single driver design. Working our way up in frequency, the G5s present a subtle lift towards the top end of the mid-range. Nothing about this sounded distracting or inauthentic. As I said, it's quite subtle. This lift further enhances the clarity presented by the sound labs. Another characteristic that enhanced clarity was the rapid reproduction of transients. The extremely lightweight electrostatic membrane lends itself to quick movements with little effort, leaving microtransients sounding similar to when heard live. As frequency rises away from the lift in the upper mids, the drop in level through this range is nearly imperceptible. It does, however, mean there are no fatiguing peaks in this range, making listening hour after hour commonplace. The brilliance control allows the listener to dial in or out a bump around 10K. So if you're one who likes strong sibilants and that sound of airiness, the adjustability of this speaker will be a major plus. Getting into adjustability, never have I moved speakers around my listening room as much as when I had the G5s. While the image and sound space would shift from position to position, tonally the speaker never lost control of the music and the image never collapsed on the speakers. It was simply a matter of your imaging preferences. If you're one who prioritizes sound space over sound stage, or vice versa, you'll likely achieve your preferred balance by simply moving the speakers into the right positions in your listening room, all without having to completely sacrifice the other. Another thing that caught my attention was the off-axis tonal performance. While imaging may not be perfect for a listening companion off-axis, the tonal presentation will remain enjoyable. Actually, listening to these speakers and the larger G7-4Cs, they sounded remarkably similar. The major difference was upon standing. With the G5s, there's about a 10 dB drop in level when your head gets above the speaker, and the tonal balance shifts, an issue that doesn't plague a 7-foot speaker. So that's something to consider when sizing your sound labs. If you're one who does a bit of entertaining and you have your sound system in a common area for background listening during gatherings, you'll want to size up for maximum enjoyment. If, on the other hand, the majority of your listening is done solo in your listening room, you may be able to save a couple grand and go with a shorter speaker. One of the many benefits of the variability that SoundLab affords you with the speaker configuration tool on their website. Keep in mind that restricting the height of the speaker will also limit the speaker's ability to provide the desired infinite line source, something a speaker sized to the height of the room would provide. I have to say, this was a really fun review to do. I've not had an opportunity to listen to a panel speaker of this size in a controlled environment before, and the experience was certainly eye-opening. Or is it ear-opening? Anyway, while these speakers are not inexpensive, they're far from the top of the heap when it comes to price, and SoundLab was able to maintain many of the sonic characteristics that make higher-priced speakers what they are. Actually, depending on your priorities, they may do more. If you prize the illusion that the performers are in the room with you above all else, you're going to want to get to the closest SoundLab dealer and have a listen. The probability is high that you'll soon be incorporating SoundLabs into your system. Thanks for sticking around while I shared what I heard when listening to the SoundLab G5-4C in my system. I hope you enjoyed the review, and if you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to our channel for more reviews about hi-fi equipment. Oh, and don't forget to make listening fun again.